This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. We're here at the 2023 Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit with U.S. Goldmining CEO, Mr. Tim Smith. Tim, it's great to see you, sir.
Nice to see you as well, Gerardo.
How have you been? How are things?
Excellent, yeah. Doing really well. Really happy to be here in Beaver Creek at the Precious Metals Summit, talking to existing investors and potential investors as well.
Let's get right into it. We talked a bit off air about gold's performance relative to the dollar index, right? The fact that we've held 1900 really, really well and technically look really set up to break out. This despite a dollar index that's firmly above the 105 level. Two types of companies that I'm meeting with here. There's companies that are waiting for a better market, that are saving cash, that are waiting for sentiment to turn. And then there's companies like U.S. Goldmining that are positioning shareholders for that turn because it happens quickly. You've been very, very active creating shareholder value. Can we talk a bit about, one, your thoughts on gold, and then let's get into the company-specific catalysts?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've timed the launch of our new company well back in April. Gold is still stable in the 1900 to 1950 range, and we're happy to see it there. Of course, we think the fundamentals still exist that will see gold drive higher. And, you mentioned the dollar index and, inflation is still weighing on that potential upward pressure for the price of gold. I'd point to a couple of additional things as well. The fact that the central banks are buying gold, the demand is there, and the longer term, the majors are going to be running out of gold. Their resources and reserves are depleting. That means that they want assets like our asset, Whistler, located up in Alaska.
Let's talk Whistler up in Alaska. How are things coming along there?
Really well. So we launched back in April. We had teams in the field in May, opening up the camp. We launched a drilling program in August. We just announced that back in the middle of August. We're partway into about a 5,000 meter program this year. We plan to wrap it up later in the fall. We've completed our first hole. We've just moved on to our second hole. And we're looking forward to receiving the first batch of results. Lab turnaround time looks like it's about 4 to 6 weeks. So sometime later in the fall, look out for news on that.
I'd ask you how the rocks are looking, but you're going to tell me what everyone tells me. They look great, but we won't know until we get assays.
Absolutely.
How are the rocks looking?
Absolutely. Well, look, we're drilling a porphyry style of mineralization. So, there are certain visual features that we look for, and we're ticking the boxes in terms of what we're seeing. Our geologists on the site are excited. As soon as we put our team together, completed our funding, we brought them together. They're doing great things in terms of reinterpreting the Whistler geology, and they're coming up with opportunities all over the place. Incremental extensions, down deep extensions, infill to interpolate the high grade zones better. And what I think is really exciting, the potential for some new discoveries. We've got a lot of targets in that Whistler Range Rig area that we're excited to put some new drill holes into.
You're jam-packed with meetings. You mentioned it's a healthy mix of institutional and retail. I got to believe that the resource base that already exists is a great anchor as far as valuation goes for a lot of the institutions that are looking to maybe advance a position in U.S. Goldmining. For those that aren't familiar with the company, can you just give a brief overview of Whistler, the resource base, and then of course you mentioned the potential for new discoveries there?
Yeah, sure. So Whistler is a large porphyry gold, copper gold deposit located in Alaska, about 100 miles from Anchorage.
My old stomping grounds.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It contains just a little bit under 3.5 million ounces in indicated, and about a little bit under 6 million gold equivalent ounces in inferred. So its overall size is large. It's spread across 3 separate deposits, the Whistler and the Raintree, which are just 1 kilometer apart, and then 20 kilometers away, the Island Mountain deposit. We're excited about the geology there. I'll throw a geologic phrase at you, porphyry cluster. This means that we have the potential for more than 1 or 2. We've currently got 3, but in our geophysical modeling, we see a lot of potential for more porphyry intrusive bodies to be discovered, some of which we hope and we'll be testing. The objective is to make a new discovery.
I'm bullish on gold, but I'm also very bullish on copper, right? I think we're going to have a copper market that's going to be one for the books here in the next several years. How much copper exposure does Whistler provide for you? Because I think that's underappreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll note that I mentioned gold equivalent ounces.
Right.
So that's a combination of gold, copper, and silver.
Right.
And I'll break that down for you really broadly. It's about 60 to 70% by value gold. The remainder, the majority of that is copper. There's a little bit of silver credit. We've got about 700 pounds of copper in the inferred and another 400 million pounds
Sure.
in the indicated category. So it's a sizable copper deposit in its own right.
Now, there you have it, folks. You get exposure to gold, you get exposure to copper, you get a little silver kicker in there, large resource base, assays pending.
Assays pending later this fall. So yeah, watch for news flow.
Tim, pleasure as always, sir.
Thanks so much, Gerardo.
All right.